Alex Thompson is here, speaking of politics, national political correspondent for our friends at Axios. How worried is the White House right now about this pickle on COVID?
You know, it's so interesting because I think Joe Biden has always had trouble following the COVID protocols that his administration is mandating. So, you know, I remember on day one of his administration, he signed an executive order saying, you always have to wear a mask on federal land. That later that night at the Lincoln Memorial, which is federal land, he was wearing a mask. Kamala Harris was not wearing a mask indoors right before they nominated Ketanji Brown Jackson. The fact of the matter is the Biden administration, particularly the principals of the Biden administration, have long struggled with following the very mandates that and protocols that their administration is suggesting.
Yeah, right. And here he is next to an 81-year-old veteran not wearing a mask on. Interestingly enough, the person next to him is. And this goes back to this sort of issue of, you know, lockdowns and mandates for thee, not for me. Politically, though, as you talk to folks in the White House, how worried are they not necessarily about these optics, but just about COVID in general that was this signature issue for Joe Biden and now that they seem so afraid of?
I mean, it's so interesting because I think it shows that they feel like they've lost credibility on the issue. The fact of the matter is that the country is not willing to abide by mask mandates or lockdowns, which were very much welcome, or at least abided by in the early parts of the administration, and no longer are a sign that they no longer trust the Biden administration on this. And you know, one thing that really speaks to me that I always remember that even people in the White House say we regret is doing that big independence from COVID event in July 2021. And the fact of the matter is that we weren't independent from COVID, as they later reversed themselves.
Yeah, it was like the old mission accomplished banner on George W. Bush on the aircraft carrier. I want to get into this polling because of your reporting on the campaign. Carter and Biden approval both September 7th, a year before the election. Biden today, 40% approved, 56% disapproved. Carter, 30% approved, disapproved, 55%. I contend perhaps the more apt issue here is George H.W. Bush, who was still riding the wave of the Gulf War. 70% approval, went on to lose re-election. The polling today, we can all agree, was not great for Joe Biden. Yeah. The question is, and I asked the panel earlier, but what's their plan to get a win? You're not going to get a win on COVID, not going to get a win on gas prices right now. How do you get a win?
I would say I think they're going to win because of their opposition. I think, especially in this environment, they would point to the fact, are Joe Biden's approval ratings good? Absolutely not. No one in the White House, if they were put on Truth Serum, would say we're lucky that we're at 39, 40%. But what they would say is, look at our opposition. Almost all of them are basically in the same position. We live in a polarized America where essentially nobody, no politician especially, has over 50% approval rating. So essentially their plan is Trump. Even if Trump's not the nominee, they're going to say they are Trump in different clothing. They are or a wolf in sheep's clothing, rather. And they're also going to focus on abortion rights, which obviously worked to their benefit in 2022. This is going to be a campaign about. This is going to be a campaign for both sides. Is who do you dislike less? Who is the lesser of the two evils?
Yeah, not exactly, shall we say, an inspirational candidate that's exciting too many people on either side. Alex, thank you very much. Appreciate it. Good to see you. Thanks for watching. Go to newsnationnow.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to subscribe. Click the red button to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.